Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm back with some very gloomy news from the stock market, and these are some forecasts for summer and fall this year. This is according to some experts, analysts, those terms, and we have to take them into consideration because they never fail to amaze us. So I posted a video today with how well, wink wink, the stock market did today, Wednesday, May 18th, and percentages they fell, went down, and how well they're doing in the past year or so, which is not good at all. So they're gonna do worse, according to this gentleman. This article is from Market Watch, and it's from today, May 18th. This by Mark de Cambre. This is the title. A Summer of Pain? Question mark. The Nasdaq Composite could plunge 75% from peak. S&P 500 skid 45% from its top, and warns, this gentleman is Guggenheim Scott Minard. I never heard of this guy, so my apologies for butchering his name. It's not the first one or the last one. So the carnage playing out in the US stock market on Wednesday, today, is likely an amuse bush compared with the devastation on the menu for the bulls in the coming months and years. Guggenheim Partners Global Chief Investment Officer Scott Minard told MarketWatch in an interview. The prominent CIO, okay, if they say so, on Wednesday said he envisioned the possibility of a dreadful summer and fall for stock market investors, one in which the Nasdaq Composite Index will be negative 4.73%, eventually unravels. So that's how it was Wednesday here, plunging 75% from its November 19th, 2021 peak. Currently, it's down around 28%. So currently it's down 28% from its peak, I guess, and it's going to go 75% by summer or fall. And then we have the S&P 500 is SPX, negative 4.04%, tumbles 45% from its January 3rd, 2022 peak, from which presently down 18% as we head into July. So it doesn't look great at all, according to this gentleman. And I'm quoting, "This looks a lot like the collapse of the internet bubble," Minard said, referring to the implosion of technology stocks in 1999 and early 2000. And he says it's what's driving Minard pessimism. And he fears that the Federal Reserve has made it abundantly clear that it is aiming to continue raising interest rates despite the possibility that it could result in ruction in equity markets and elsewhere. And I'm quoting, "What's clear to me is that there is no market put, and I think we're all waking up to that fact now," Minard said. The CIO was alluding to the so-called Federal Reserve put option, which is shorthand for the belief the US central bank will rush in to rescue tanking markets. Yeah, an approach that has been denied by previous Fed chairs. It's okay. It's okay. I tell you what's gonna happen. We've been through this before. People. And you know who's gonna be taking in the it's gonna be you and I. I still remember that beautiful crash that occurred in 2008. The house bubble and whatever burst, and then I remember how these weasels, who actually are CEOs and so on of private companies, they rushed to the administration, to the Bush administration, and they told them and all these senators and all the guys that they have in their right here, pocket, they told them that if they do not approve a bailout from my money, from my future money, from my children's future money, taxes, the sky will fall. This was the expression there, the fall. The sky will fall. It would be the end of the year, the end of the world, not the year, the world. And they also stated that certain companies could not be left to go bankrupt because they are too big to fall. Did you hear that? Too big to fall. So they cannot be let. So there's companies like General Motors, for instance, that I have, some knowledge about, because I was a little bit upset that we had to bail out a unproductive company that was actually not working in a profit or was working on negative, was functioning. But I know people who work for General Motors, and I know how much their bonuses were for people who were working on the assembly line. For instance, I know a person who got $12,000 at that time, $10,000, just a bonus, and the company was working in deficit. Okay, not in profit, deficit for years, and have a big debt. So this was one of the the company that was bailed out by us. It was not productive. So, and then it became, I think, 51%. It was uh, uh, bought by the government or something. That's why it's not really a private corporation or something like that. Nevertheless, that's one example with a GM too big to fall, like Goldman Sachs and other investment firms and whatever they are. The same with these guys. They were having bonuses. Uh, Not only, I'm not talking about Goldman Sachs bonuses like the workers, because I have no knowledge of that. But I know the CEOs got bonuses that year when they were bailed out by the taxpayers. I know GM workers that got bonuses those years, not the CEOs only, the workers, engineers and people on the assembly lines. I know some certain people, so I know how much they got. And they were bankrupt, remember, that they were working in deficit and they were getting bonuses. And anyway, and pensions and so on. So we're going to go back to that when we're going to be required, not required, they want to just tell us, not as a, hey guys, we're going to do this. No, we did this. You're going to take it. What are you going to do? Nothing. What can you do? You know what you're going to do? You're going to vote. You're going to vote in the next elections. You're going to vote these people out. You're going to put the other people, but with the mustache. That's all. Because they're the same. They all voted for. They're not all. And there are a few voices who were against this massive bailout and robbery and a free market. It's not free market. If you cannot function, you're not profitable, you should go bankrupt. Because if I can't pay, let's say, a house, what are they going to do? Are they going to ask everybody in the neighborhood to pay my house because I can't pay it and I'm too big to fall? No, they're going to take my house away and they're going to kick me in the street just like that. That's how it works for me. For them, it doesn't work that way. So this is this kind of capitalism that we live, the free market that the Romanians were talking after the so-called revolution in 1989. We want free market capitalism. This is how is the free market capitalism. Socialism there, capitalism down here for you guys. Wild capitalism, wild. So when you want change in certain countries where there's not so much freedom and it's no democracy and it's no capitalism, things like this will happen. You have CEOs who make millions, are paid bonuses, they have millions in bonuses or hundreds of thousands. Their employees have some bonuses, some of them, and then the company is not profitable. How is that possible? I don't know. What are the shareholders doing? I don't know. But they're still functioning. GM is still on the roll. Look, if it has profit, it had, I think, the next few years, but you can't make it all the time. So if you can't make it, you go bankrupt. You restructure. That's what you do. You become smaller and start over. That's what you do, but not them. So that's what's probably going to happen this summer, or maybe by October, December. They're going to bail them out. They're going to say the whole economy is going to collapse unless they grab part of Russia. That could be a little bit more resources, but that's not going to save them, because I think the system is structured in such a way that is too controlled. It's not free market. It's a controlled kind of market, and it's too controlled, and too many taxes and resources are taken from development, entrepreneur endeavors, and given to certain public and social programs that do not produce anything but people who will not go to work, for instance, or people who just you don't get the incentive of training them, but really training them to get them and to be productive members of the society. Just keep them over there, and they vote too. Now, I understand people go, sometimes they get out of luck, and you lose your job and you try to find a job. There are jobs. There are jobs. There are jobs. If I want right now to go and get a job, for instance, I can get it with what, $15 an hour, working at a Kentucky, not Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's a Louisiana Popeye with chicken. Across the street, they open it and they advertise it. The team member is, I think, $16, and the manager is $17. Can you hear that? A team member, a person who makes your or gets your order, it's as I said, what, $16, $15, $16, and the manager is $2 over. That's how much it is. But so that's work to do. You can work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's okay. We're gonna work, pay taxes, obey laws, and they will bail out these guys with 50 houses and 30 islands, and 50 airplanes and 20 helicopters, and ladies of the night every night. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and stack your money something in properties or gold, or something like this, because the money is gonna go like this. The power, inflation, and the bailout. Oh my! Thank you. See ya. Ciao.